Hi, my name is Linry, and this is nail art that I did in October. So, I'm deciding to get my money's worth with my little lacy shirt, ruffle shirt. Perfect. Can we all just pretend that I brushed my hair today? Great. Thanks. Let's get into it! October was a very trying month for me mentally, so that will be heavily reflected in how often I paint my nails. On the 3rd, I did a jack-o'-lantern mani that was heavily inspired by Wendinimus? Literally, I will put it here. I cannot say the name. I'm on my own struggle bus. Here's their name. They are on Instagram and Twitch, and I will link to their post that inspired this jack-o'-lantern mani. I was super pleased with how this mani came out. I was a little bit disappointed. Normally I use like artistic acrylic paints in my manicures, but as you can see, I am running very low on it. So I decided to just buy like acrylic paint from the dollar store, you know. It just seems a lot cheaper and whatnot, so I'm only used to high quality artistic acrylic paints, and I just assumed there wasn't too much of a difference. But what happened is that I just have never experienced this before. When I painted the acrylic paint on my top coat, it like bubbled and beaded off like it was water and it was resistant to it, and it became a very difficult and obnoxious process. And I've tried to make this work, and I think I'm just gonna be stuck with it for the next year or however long it takes me to use this up, but I don't think I'm going to be returning to buying dollar store craft paints. I don't know what the difference is, but it's just not the same. My artistic paints would actually just stick and I paint a line and boom ba ba, it's there. Boom ba ba. Whatever, you get it. My dollar store paint does not stand up to the paint I spent a lot more money on, but got a lot little of. I'm struggling. I am struggling mentally. My stream of consciousness is not functioning. I painted jack-o'-lanterns on my nails. They're GG easy. They're cute. They came out all right. On the 6th, I did a layered ghost effect. I used HoloTaco retro jellies. I wasn't 100% pleased with the way this turned out. I went a little too thick with my coats, so some of the, like, I did 3 layers of them, but it's just like the first one and the second one, because I used so much polish, they look like they just sat on the same exact layer, and it just didn't come out nearly as cute as I wanted. Also, I attempted a glow-in-the-dark effect with it, and because I went so thick with my coats, the glow-in-the-dark didn't really shine through, so I overall wasn't very happy with this manicure, but I thought it was cute enough. Like, you put dumb faces on anything and it's just gonna pass, so it's passable, but there's just a couple things wrong technically, and yeah, I wasn't 100% pleased with this manicure. On the 10th, I did just a quick, easy little bone manicure. On my pointer finger, I went a little bit high with that bone, but I think it came out successful. It was very readable. It looks cool in the glow in the dark. One thing that came from this that I didn't expect whatsoever was when I posted my reel to Instagram and TikTok, I had a couple people in the comments say, "Thank you for this tutorial. You made it look so easy." And that immediately made me feel so fucking terrible, because when I post reels and stuff like that of my nail art on Instagram, it's basically to show how I did it, not how to do it. So as like a tutorial, I feel like it fails quite a lot, that, you know, I'm giving no instruction, it's just do dots and whatnot. So that's kind of making me a little more mindful, and maybe I should be a little more helpful on those reels if people are using my reels and TikToks as tutorials. Maybe I should just be a little more, here's some helpful tips. But overall, this look was just very simplistic, and I haven't done such a simple nail look in forever, and I hated it. After I finished it, I was like, wow, this is boring. I was just so bored with it, and I don't know, again, I was going through a lot of mental things, so I was like, okay, I can't handle this. The next day, the 11th, I did a Courage the Cowardly Dog mani. Now, this is a manicure I have had just sitting in my brain noodle. I drew it out and then I just sat on it waiting for the perfect time. And I decided I'm getting through the ringer right now. So the time is now. So I painted that up and it came out exactly how I fucking saw it. Oh, I was so pleased and happy with how this nail art turned out. I was like, damn, whoo, I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting, I'm getting spicy, this feels great, it looks amazing. A small criticism I have of it is that my gradient, I went a little too on the nose with it. I basically took a bunch of screenshots from the show and I noticed that's how they gradiated their skies. So I was like, I wanted that to translate onto my nails and I just went a little too literal with it. So the gradient just stands out a bit too much when I needed the background to be in the back, but instead the background kind of comes forward. So a lot of details are a little muddled, but I'm so pleased with the way that house turned out. Like, drawing a tiny little three-dimensional square on your nails is a bit of a challenge. And I fucking kicked its ass, bitch! Woo! Sorry. Again, I attempted to use that acrylic paint, the craft store paint, to paint Courage, and it just kept separating and doing that weird oil thing, and it made that process a lot more irritating than it should have been, because it should have just been acrylic paint, wham bam, thank you ma'am. And also, I have discovered, I think, my new favorite nail art tool is a fine Sharpie. I don't know what it is, but these things just kinda, like, maybe I've gotten lucky, and one day I'll get my comeuppance, but like, fine Sharpies don't seem to bleed that much, which is really, really nice. When you top coat it and you don't, like, you're like, okay, I just outlined everything. Pray! You top coat it, coming out beautifully. On the 17th, I decided to do a water marble. Bitch is just out here fucking killing it with water marbling. There's not much to say besides that there's just a bit too much orange. I wish I had doubled up on my purple rings. I used China Glaze's Caution Might Bite and then Orly's Synthetic Symphony. And because Caution Might Bite is a shimmer polish, it spreads a lot wider on the water, so it just was a little more dominant of a color. So I should have really just doubled up on my purple rings and hoping to make them a little thicker, but that's the only criticism I have. It's just highly orange leaning, but as an orange lover, that wasn't too much of a problem. On the 18th, I realized that I was going to hit 1 year on Instagram of posting. I've had an Instagram account for a while, but this has been the first year I've been posting. So I just wanted to make sure I had this manicure ready for the 21st, just to fully encircle that year with my first manicure posted and then this one. I feel like I have made leaps and bounds and improvements on my nail art. With stamping, it's hard to tell, but I decided I wanted to change a couple things with it because in the original one I used HoloTaco's linear hollows, and I didn't realize at the time that glow-in-the-dark top coat kills hollow, so they just turned into colors. So this time I used brighter colors like Cirque's Cushy and Pyro. I used a Maniology product. Maniology is no longer a brand I support, and that was just the spider web. You can get a spider web on any plate, so whatever. But yeah, I hit 1 full year on Instagram, baby! On the 21st, I did a duck nails mani. I feel like this manicure was pretty cute in person, and when you only see 1 to 3 people, no one's gonna really see it. It didn't photograph too well just because I used so many light colors, so it just bounces the light off of it so harshly, and it's just hard to capture. And I think that was just my biggest mistake, because I went so light with it because I tried to do a realistic bathroom theme, and it just didn't pay off. I did use the no tear shampoo, and that just kind of made me laugh because that was a staple of my childhood. Those stupid L'Oreal bottles was just like no tears, but it still fucking burned. 10 out of 10. I think the duck came out pretty cute. I don't know if I should have outlined him or not. On the 24th, I did a fun little Halloween gradient with a Headless Horse Man stamp. I love this manicure. It came out so good. And actually, this is a recreation of a manicure I did last year. So I loved it so much once, do it twice. I would highly recommend What's Up Nails B072 stamping plate. This is a fantastic little plate. It's got some pretty good Halloween classics on it, and with Black Friday coming up, if these are still available, I would kind of pick one up if you're already making an order with What's Up Nails. I just really enjoy this stamping plate, and I use it every Halloween, and it's probably one of the most used stamping plates I've purchased, and it's mostly because of the bats and these weird little empty tree vine things. It's just such a good stamping plate. On the 26th, I decided to paint my other hand. I tried to do a peekaboo mani where like when you're in the dark, you can see the skulls on the other half appear, but my stamping polish just wasn't opaque enough, so they just kind of blended into nothing, and it just looked like I kind of half stamped my fucking nails. It's not that cute, it's not that great. One day I'll figure out how to do a peekaboo mani, but that day is not today. Also, recording nail art on my other hand is so fucking hard because where my camera arm is, I'm gonna be bumping it constantly, so I don't film when I do nail art on my other hand. It's just too difficult. On the 27th, I did a glow-in-the-dark water marble. Oh! Sometimes the water marble gods giveth, and sometimes they taketh away. This was probably the most I've struggled with water marbling in a long time. The glow-in-the-dark top coat from HoloTaco doesn't want to spread on water, so I was left with these weird kind of, like, I just had to like do like 2 stripes of it and try and like pull it out, and it just wasn't very cute. And you can actually see my video where I get a little frustrated, where I'm just like, it's not a perfect circle, fuck it, go. Like, honestly, I spent 2 hours attempting to water marble, which water marbling it shouldn't be that time consuming, it should be fairly quick. And this just took me forever. I think it looked pretty sick when it was done, but I might have to try with different glow-in-the-dark top coats. Also, on the same exact day, I decided to do nail art on my other hand again. Obviously, I was not happy with the way that Peekaboo Mani came out, because it only lasted a day, and then I just covered it with skulls. Again, I didn't record it, and I wasn't even happy with this either. It just... The 27th just rocked my world, and I couldn't get anything to look great, and I was just like, ugh. And on the 30th, I did a Frankenstein mani. I got this cute plate from Mocha, London, and I was like, I have to use it during the Halloween season, and I think it stamped fairly well, but I just am like, yeah, I've been stamping for a year now, and I still cannot center my stamps. So the Bride of Frankenstein just isn't centered on my ring finger, which it's all right, but I just wish I had bumped her over a little to get her fucking centered so you could actually see her. Instead, she's just like disappearing off into the fucking void of my curve. Also, this was just another day where I was just feeling it, and I didn't want to reverse stamp Frankenstein. I thought it came out all right. It probably would have been much better if I had also did some reverse stamp filling of Frankenstein, but I just was not feeling it. But yeah, October was an extremely, extremely busy month, and I accomplished 12 nail arts within the entire month. Little insane. My top favorite nail art of this month has to go to the Courage the Cowardly Dog one. I think that one just came out so well, so great. Oh, I'm so pleased with how it turned out. But yeah, you could tell by how often I was painting my nails, I was trying to soothe myself. I'll do a little bit of a speed run on what's going on. If you don't want to hear it, it's fine. The video's over. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. Hi. I just wanted to include like a massive trigger warning just because I forgot to when I originally recorded. Also, you'll see me giggling and laughing quite a bit. That's how I process things. Please don't judge me too harshly for laughing and giggling through these things. Again, you know, it's either you laugh or you cry, so again, Trigger warning. Alright. Let's get into the deets. Alright, so basically, I got the news at the top of this month that one of my family members is having a major fucking surgery. And that's like anxiety inducing, whatever. We all get through it, right? But this is like really anxiety inducing. It's one of those surgeries that, depending on certain situations, it could have a very great success rate or you die. So that's just a lot of fun, just thinking about. Not great mentally. Also, I have said several times in my videos, just because people are weird on the internet and whatnot, I don't want to, like, locate myself, but I guess I will. I keep saying I'm from New England. I am from Maine. So I have friends and family that live in Lewiston, and, like, I talked to one of my family members, like, after everything had settled and they found the guy. I talked to one of my family members after the fact, because I didn't want to stress him out while it was going on. And I was like, how are you doing? And they were like, oh, we're holding up fine. Another one of our family members was at the fucking bowling alley. Now, they're fine. Fine. They're fine. Yeah, they're fucking fine. They just got trampled a little. I'm not gonna call it a tragedy because literally this is just designed by fucking purpose right now. And it's hard to articulate my feelings just because I live in a place where a mass shooting has occurred. I live in Florida, you know, just throw a dart at the board. And this Lewiston shooting's just kind of rattled myself to my soul. Now, I don't want to sound, like, too fucking dramatic or anything like that. I've only met this particular family member once in my life. Like, you know, I don't want to, like, be like, oh, yeah, it's just, like, it wasn't my fucking parents or like, you know, whatnot. But it's, you know, my family as a whole are completely upset, and understandably. I just want to, like, paint a picture of Maine. For the first, like, 20 years of my life living in Maine, born and bred. Come here. Yeah, come on. Yeah, it's a good baby. You want him in my lap? Born and bred, lived in Maine for first 20 years of my life. I had never locked a door, a front door. No one in my, we didn't even know where our house keys were. We just didn't lock our doors. That's how safe Maine is. So it's just kind of, I don't know. It just gives like a weird feeling, and I know like in my friend group growing up, everyone was like, I want to move to Florida. I want to move to Florida. And I was the only one in my friend group that was like, I want to stay in Maine. I love Maine. This is where I want to just live my life. And then I fell in love. And I moved. I moved to Florida for that love. But I just thought it was really funny. Out of our friend group, I was the only one to move to Florida, and everyone else resided in Maine. And a lot of them moved to Lewiston. So it just, it's hard to articulate. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but that is what it is. That's where I've been a little bit mentally. And then one of our family members is being deployed. So just a lot of worry right now that's going through, and that's not great for my anxiety, but it is what it is. It is life. You can't control it, you just have to manage how you go through it. And I'm managing it with nail polish. But yeah, that's also why in my Mooncat video I was like, I can't handle having to contact customer support right now. Because I just don't need something else going wrong in my life. But I'll be fine. You know. But just keep trucking along. I've been getting better sooner. I think once my family member undergoes that surgery, a lot of my anxieties will go away. right now I'm just panicking because that's what my brain has conditioned me to do. Just constantly panic and worry. Also, I just want to say, like, I started this I started this like channel like 3 months ago, I think, and the reception to it has been so fucking positive and nice. And I just want to thank you guys so fucking much. Like, I just want to thank you guys so fucking much. Like, the nail polish community, like, I'm a fucking gamer, right? And I've been a part of the gaming community since I was a small wee child. You know, being a woman in the gaming sphere has always been extremely toxic, especially when you're trying to do it competitively and just, well, competitively, when you're just, like, when you're playing high stakes games that have ranking ladders. I'm not saying I'm a god at gaming, but when you're playing those sorts of games, it's very toxic to be a woman in that environment. And I've never felt really welcomed by the gaming community, but the nail polish community has been so fucking nice. And I know there's dingleberries in this, like, community, but it just feels like there's just a bunch of people all just trying to show off their nails and be like, look at my nails, your nails are beautiful. And it's just like this constant thing of positivity of everyone just being like, look at that person's nails. And it's just, it feels really nice to be a part of something that is so positive. So yeah, in conclusion, my mental health has been a little meh. My emotional response to the nail polish community has been, eh. And life moves on. We'll see if I even include all of this in the video. Probably not. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video. Bye!